There are creatures in this world that only a few have seen yet. They have never been officially recognized. Welcome to UMA Channel, video series about unidentified mysterious animals. Today, we take you to Lake Victoria, Africa's largest lake by area and the second largest freshwater lake in the world. Spanning nearly 70,000 square kilometers, it is a place so vast that it often feels endless. Beneath its calm surface lies a rich ecosystem, and according to generations of locals, something much harder to explain. For decades, fishermen and villagers have reported encounters with a massive, unknown creature moving silently beneath the waters. Not a crocodile, not a hippo. Something different, and far less understood. If so many sightings have been reported over such a long period, what could explain the lack of hard evidence? Is there a logical explanation? Or could an undiscovered species still be hiding in plain sight? Today, we revisit the legend of Lukwata and examine whether this ancient mystery still holds water. Among the Bantu tribes that have lived along Lake Victoria's shores for generations, there is a name that carries both fear and respect: Lukwata. Lukwata is often described as a massive, powerful creature, 20 to 30 feet long, smooth black skin, a large rounded head emerging from the water, moving with such strength that it sends humps rolling across the surface. Some say it looks like a serpent, others like a giant fish, and a few even compare it to a whale. No one agrees on its exact form, only that it is large, dark, and impossible to ignore. For the tribes, Lukwata wasn't simply an animal. It held symbolic meaning. Seeing Lukwata was believed to bring blessings, promising good harvests, healthy livestock, and a year of prosperity. Songs were sung, offerings made, and prayers whispered to the waters. Lukwata was a reminder that nature could give just as easily as it could take away. But has anyone ever truly seen it? The first major foreign account came around 1900 from Clement Lloyd Hill, a British diplomat traveling across Lake Victoria by steam launch. As his boat pulled away from Mount Homa, something unexpected happened. Without warning, a massive creature burst from the water. It lunged toward a local man seated at the bow. The impact nearly flipped the entire boat over. Everyone on board scrambled to regain balance, stunned by the force of the attack. Hill later insisted it wasn't a crocodile. What he saw had a rounded, almost squared head, lifted high above the surface, and a long neck around 4 feet stretching from the water. Beneath it, large, round humps rose and fell, rolling across the lake like something alive just below the surface. When he asked the local crew, they didn't hesitate. Lukwata, they said. Hill never published an official report, but he shared the story with friends, explorers, and administrators who would later document his encounter. Hill's wasn't the only story. Henry Hesketh Bell, a colonial administrator, would later record his own strange encounter. While traveling near the western borders of Uganda, Bell spotted a creature lifting its head from the lake. Acting instinctively, he fired his rifle. The creature disappeared, but the local boys with him were convinced. He had shot a young Lukwata. Bell described what he saw: a snake-like head, a short neck and tail, strong limbs like a sea turtle, thick, rubbery skin that seemed almost resistant to bullets. To Bell, it wasn't just a legend. It was something real and unknown. But that wasn't the last sighting. William Grant, a commissioner in Uganda, reported seeing a strange animal swimming through Napoleon Gulf. From a distance, he could only see its head above the water, too far to make out clear details, but enough to know it wasn't ordinary. And in 1959, a couple named Cox witnessed something unforgettable. while at Homa Bay in Kenya, they saw a humpbacked creature, around 20 to 30 feet long, moving quickly across the lake. Its dark, snake-like head dipped in and out of the water, moving with a strange vertical motion faster than anything they had ever seen. If so many sightings were recorded across decades, what could Lukwata really be? Several theories have been proposed to explain Lukwata's identity. One idea suggests it might have been a giant fish, possibly a marble lungfish or a spotted catfish, both capable of surviving in difficult environments. These fish can grow large enough to seem monstrous at first glance. But there's a major problem with this theory. The most famous giant fish of Lake Victoria, the Nile perch, was only introduced in the 1950s, well after the earliest Lukwata sightings. That timeline doesn't fit. Another theory points to the African rock python, the largest snake species in Africa. But while rock pythons are impressive, they prefer swamps and riverbanks, and they are too slow to match the rapid movements described by eyewitnesses. Could Lukwata have been something much older? Cryptozoologist Bernard Heuvelmans suggested an even more fascinating idea. Maybe Lukwata was a surviving marine reptile, similar to a plesiosaur, a creature thought to have vanished with the dinosaurs. The long neck, the rolling humps, the sudden lunges all match old descriptions of marine reptiles. But here's the problem. Using one unproven creature to explain another leaves us chasing mysteries with more mysteries. So could there be another explanation? Some believe Lukwata might not have been one specific animal. The roots of the word itself offer a clue. In local languages, Lu means giant. Kwata means to seize or to grab. Put together, Lukwata could simply mean the giant that grabs. Maybe Lukwata wasn't a name for a single creature, but a way to describe anything unknown and dangerous in the lake. A shape in the mist, a shadow beneath the boat, a splash in the dark. That could explain why the sightings are so different and yet so alike in feeling. Could something unknown still hide in Lake Victoria today? It's possible. Lake Victoria is enormous, nearly 70,000 square kilometers, making it the second largest freshwater lake in the world by area. Its ecosystem is rich and unique, home to over 200 species of fish. And even today, new species are occasionally discovered. If something large once lived here, it would not have been impossible to miss or for it to disappear without a trace. Sadly, since the introduction of the Nile perch, the lake's balance has been shattered. Native species have declined. Delicate ecosystems have collapsed. If Lukwata ever existed, it may have been one of the many victims of these changes, lost before we ever truly understood what it was. But then again, what if it's still out there? Maybe Lukwata was a real animal. Maybe it was a spirit of the waters, something that belonged more to legend than science. Or maybe it was both. What's clear is this: the unknown will always be greater than the known. That's the real magic of UMA, the stories, the possibilities, the mysteries that remind us that the world is still bigger than our maps. What do you think? Was Lukwata a forgotten giant, a survivor from the ancient world, or simply the spirit of the lake itself? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more UMA mysteries. Until next time, stay curious, because sometimes what we can't explain is what's most worth exploring.